Welcome back to Checkpoint, and thank you for staying with us. As touted, we're set to have a conversation with returnees from South Africa due to the ongoing spate of xenophobic attacks, or if you call it Afrophobia attacks in South Africa. But before we get to the conversation, let's set the stage with this particular story that highlights the human cost of those who have been repatriated from South Africa. Now, the ongoing crisis in South Africa has dominated headlines as xenophobic attacks force hundreds of foreign nationals to flee. But beyond the official government statements lies the shattered reality of ordinary Kenyans, stripped of their livelihoods and torn apart from their families. Our reporter, Fatma Chidagaya, spoke to one Simon Chege, a Kenyan who is among those repatriated, who details the human cost of these displacements. Listen in.
Definitely. I'm thinking of restarting my life. I'm trying to see where do I start. Because most of us came with almost nothing.
Over the past 2 weeks, this crisis has topped the headlines, with news packages racking up over 30,000 views as audiences track the unfolding emergency. But to the affected Kenyans stepping off the planes into the Nairobi air, this is far from a viral story. It is their real life being completely stripped away. Simon Chege spent over 20 years building a life and business in South Africa. Married to a South African with children born there, he was forced to flee alone on Thursday night to protect them from coordinated anti-foreigner violence, leaving his entire world behind.
My kids are South African. So for me to be told to leave, it was a very bitter pill, because I took on the dynamics of living with my kids, and you go to Kenya where they already checked and saw that South Africans are attacking foreigners. So it also gave me that chance to think if my kids were to come with me, they might have the same problem back at home.
It is the agonizing quiet after the chaos that hurts the most. To look at your own children, born in a country that now hates you, and realize you must leave them behind just to keep them safe. Simon didn't just pack a suitcase. He left his heart, his marriage, and his 2 decades of sweat buried under the ashes of a burning suburb.
I was there in the first, second xenophobia, third, and even the looting that was there in July some time ago. All these, the past xenophobias did not seem to be this one. This one was well prepared. They were not choosing countries, they were choosing anyone who is a foreigner.
He is home now, physically safe, but emotionally stranded in a wasteland of what-ifs, staring into an empty future he doesn't even recognize.
The immigration is very slow and very corrupt. Corruption plays a big part for people to get paperwork.
For repatriates like Simon, the immediate physical danger has passed, but the hardest crisis is just beginning. Arriving back in Kenya with a slight South African inflection, a subtle symbol of a life he truly settled elsewhere. He now faces the daunting task of restarting from absolute zero. Fatma Chidagaya, KTN.
Thanks, Fatma. And that story paints a picture of the realities that many immigrants are facing, especially in South Africa, due to that wave of anti-immigrant protests or Afrophobia or xenophobic attacks in South Africa. And it's definitely reached a boiling point, the tension prompting emergency evacuations. And tonight, we are not just looking at the statistics, we are going to bring you the raw, unfiltered realities of those who have been affected by that ordeal in one way or the other. And in studio, I'm joined by Kenyan returnees who recently touched down in the country, and they had left home in search of greener pastures, an income, a dream, and have had to return with tales of survival. Allow me to introduce the two of them joining me in studio. Kefa Ngigi is a businessman. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Thanks for your time. Karibu to our studios.
Thank you.
And first of all, I'm sure it feels good to be back home.
Yeah.
Karibu nyumbani.
Thank you.
We're equally joined by Bishop Martin Oduor, who's from the World Laborers Church International. which is in South Africa. Karibu sana, Bishop. It's great to have you with us.
Asante sana.
Asante. We saw you on earlier reports by our media house when you touched down in the country. It's good to be back home, yeah?
Yes, very much. You just feel at ease.
At ease.
And with the fresh air, the nice breeze.
Yes.
It's like you've been born again. Or regenerated, for that matter.
How long were you in South Africa?
18 years.
18 years.
Yes, I went to South Africa 2010 when the score by Shabalala.
I remember.
I found myself, I just couldn't, stay back. And I decided, and apparently it was very cold, their winter. We were not used to.
Yeah.
And having been in a number of countries as a missionary, like Rwanda, Burundi, Congo, Zambia, Zimbabwe, I thought it was the same, but in a way it prepared me. Yeah.
Okay, and before we get to the tensions,
yes.
Well, what's your family status? Do you have family still in South Africa? Are they safe? Have you communicated with them? Well, what's their status?
Apparently, they are safe because if you've got a South African mother, of course, my first daughter was born in Kenya to a South African mother. Then I think 2007, there was skirmishes in the country. And apparently where we were staying, it was also unsafe. And we thought, let's seek for maybe greener pasture in South Africa, by virtue of the fact that you were married to a South African. Then I found myself there, and I basically even made an oath to release my first daughter, Beverly. And Beverly has really excelled a lot, and she has also graduated at UNISA,
Congrats.
University of South Africa, with her first degree, and she's now pursuing her master's. She's 25 years old.
Okay.
I've got 2 girls. Then the second one is 15. She's in grade 9.
They're all South African nationals, yeah?
Now they are South African nationals.
Yes.
Beverly was given naturalization,
Okay.
citizen. But me, I told them, me, I'm a Kenyan. Home will always be the best because of the nature of how I saw, even when you minister to other nationalities of Africa, like even Ethiopians, who own properties. And some of them are being killed, eliminated by fellow South Africans. So that one sends a lot of chilling within your spine. And I just thought, however much God blesses me in this country, I will always be able to look to Kenya as my birth.
Tell me this, are these attacks extended to family members who have Kenyan blood? Because I assume perhaps your daughters share your surname.
Yes.
So are they being targeted in any way due to the blood linkages to other African countries?
You see, my daughter went to the extent of even learning their local language.
Okay.
And she's very fluent also in Zulu.
Yeah.
And there are times that even when they are gossiping, she'll tell me, Daddy, they are saying this about you. That this one speaks English, is a foreigner, is not from here.
Okay.
And they were using this term of amahambe.
Meaning?
You have to go. You must go.
Okay.
You must leave. Then sometimes they even swear to you by saying fusek. So it is a word that I cannot just use it.
Yeah, let's not repeat it again.
But there are racial slurs that are, targeted at you by virtue of the fact that you're from outside. And you find sometimes you just have to be able to forbear with the pain from within. Look in the bigger picture. You've got kids, and you want to be able to see their well-being and their future success.
Okay.
So you endure a lot of pain, but from within, and you forbear everything. And whatever you do, you basically take it like a cross that Jesus has given to you as a missionary. So you take it like a school also.
Yeah.
It is painful though, and it shapes you in one way or the other. But the fact that fellow blacks, who should even be able to be appreciative of the fact that we are basically making a difference, even to invest and to create jobs for them, they look at you as a threat. When they see you even in a restaurant eating, like McDonald's, they say you're eating their food. KFC, you're eating their food. Yeah. When you see working hard, you are taking our jobs. But when you give them jobs, by maybe around even 10, they go take tea then maybe they come the next day. They are given salary, you see, they go until they squander the salary, then they show up. So drinking spree and celebration, and basically they endear themselves just to be able to receive.
But it can't be all South Africans. Perhaps
But majority,
some of those you interacted with.
You see, some of us like me,
okay.
I was in the downtown,
yeah.
Johannesburg CBD, and I used to endear to all and sundry, all foreign nationals. And having been a minister, you'll minister to Ethiopians, Congolese, Rwandese, Burundi, Tanzanians, all and sundry, even colored people. Even as I'm talking to you, the colored community, the Afrikaners, some were literally crying. They say, Bishop, we cannot imagine you are living. You've made an impact, you have no idea.
And we'll get to the point where you decided enough is enough, that
Yes.
you had to come back home. What was a turning point? But let's hear from Kefa, because ulikuwa mfanyabiashara South Africa.
Yeah.
Ulikuwa huko muda how long?
South Africa nilienda niko na 4 to 5 years.
4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Ulikuwa unafanya biz gani sasa?
Yeah, I was dealing with tires.
Tires.
Yeah.
So as a casual, as an employed, ulikuwa umetengeneza biashara, umeandika watu.
It was my business.
It was your business.
Yeah.
So ulikuwa umeandika wa South
Nilikuwa
Africa.
nimeandika South Africa mmoja.
Mmoja peke yake. Biashara ilikuwa wapi?
Biashara ilikuwa Middle Drift, Eastern Cape.
Eastern Cape.
Yeah.
Huko kulikuwa kumewaka moto.
Yeah.
Was it as bad as these other regions?
Yeah.
So take us through your experience, because umetuelezea your economic footprint. Job gani ulikuwa unafanya huko? Umeenda lini? Ukisikia hizi mambo za wakienda kwa streets wakisema wanatoa illegal immigrants. Did you have your documentation in order?
Karatasi yangu ilikuwa ime-expire kusema ukweli.
How far back lini?
I think nilikuwa na offer ya like 70 days.
70 days to
70
renew.
days. Yeah, ndio renew. Na hata kama karatasi ingekuwa mzuri, sioni kama bado tungesikizwa, kwa sababu sio serikali, hasa sio serikali inafanya turudi nyumbani. Ni raia wenyewe. Na raia hana shughuli na karatasi. Kwa hivyo hata ukimpatia karatasi atararua. In fact, kuna watu wanaitisha, they are asking for these documents. Ukimpatia anararua ndio uende nyumbani.
Sa biashara yako ilipitia shida gani?
It was rooted first. Walikuja wakaiba. Kuna machini jack waliiba na compressor wakachoma. Yeah.
Ulireport?
I reported.
And then?
Nothing. Kuna action, they never taken an action.
So sasa hivi venye umekaa hapa, hali ya biashara ikoaje? Umeacha, uliuza,
Hiyo niliacha, ilikuwa kwa container. Ilikuwa container. Niliacha mimi, nikajirudia nyumbani, kuanza maisha ingine. Kwa sababu hata kuuza, itabidi uzie foreigner mwenzako. Na hawezi nunua kwa sababu hata yeye ako kwa risk ya kuenda. Hawezi invest tena. Yeah.
Na familia ulikuwa nayo huko?
Familia sikuwa nayo.
So ulikuwa tu wewe peke yako?
Nilikuwa mimi peke yangu.
Na hizo siku before June 30th, hiyo deadline ilikuwa imepeanwa. Tension ilipanda, nini ilifanya ndo ukaamua kurudi nyumbani?
Okay. Ilianza, iko siku walitokea kwa barabara karibu mara mbili.
Wakimarch tu?
Wakimarch, wakasema.
Wako armed ama hawana?
Wako armed because wako na sticks. Utapata, na wa South Africa wanapenda sana kubeba visu. Kwa hiyo ukimuona kwa street na ujui ni nini iko kwa mfuko yake, lazima ukae macho. Walimarch, sasa waliruti biashara yangu. So, vile nilisikia serikali inatusaidia, I was very much willing to come back home. Yeah, because nilikuwa na hofia maisha yangu, kwa sababu biashara siwezi liganisha na maisha yangu.
Kweli.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to you, Bishop. What was the turning point for you? Because I assume, as you mentioned, you've worked in other African nations as a missionary, so perhaps you're exposed to certain things that might not be the norm back here in Kenya, in terms of the society, the way of life, and whatnot. This is not the first xenophobic attack in South Africa.
Yeah.
What made you realize that enough is enough?
I realized enough is enough when the climax of this particular match on match, where now there were even literally threatening that we are giving you ultimatum until 30th. Failure to which, if we find you in the street and you're a foreigner, whether you've got legal status or illegal, we will kill you. And when they tell you we will kill you, they mean it.
And at this time, had the military been...
The military and the police were basically called in. Many of the places, sometimes you find residential. You cannot go out. For fear that when you go out, they apprehend you. And with the watch of the police, basically, they are reactionary. And they overpower the police. And some of them, you know, they speak in their vernacular. And it's like they allow this to happen in full view of the officers with uniform. Now, when you see this, and you're an ordinary person, and some of us were in churches, you find like a church where a woman has been shot, literally dead. Another one stood, basically to talk, like to defend herself. She shot. Then I just say, no. And churches are also being targeted. We are being followed. When you go to your residential home, you find maybe there are unmarked cars. And when you make certain moves, you find even the cars are moving. So you find yourself, even when you go to the house, there are some places where they literally break with a view to identify who are you. They speak in their vernacular. When you respond, maybe in English, you're a foreigner, you're targeted. And literally, they not only steal your items, they literally make sure that you've been attacked to the point that you're left, you know, without any help.
Nothing.
So you're under the mercy of fate or even God. And because God has also given you intelligence, you think, and when you're alive, you know there's no spare part. What do? You realize, like me, 18 years, I've got elderly parents. I've got my family. And Kenya is also there. And one thing I must say to the government of Kenya, and President Ruto for that matter, how he acted so fast. And when we saw there's an opportune moment, we grabbed it. And some of the Kenyans that are hesitant to come, they fear because basically some maybe have overstayed. Because even you've been certified by the embassy to leave, but you still have to be subjected to the South African authorities, the Home Affairs, to make sure your fingerprint is taken if there are any criminal
records.
If they find you've got criminal records, you're retained. And the police are called to take you. And some of the Kenyans, for fear that they could be taken to the prison, which is also overpopulated, opt not to show up. Because you can imagine like maybe 27,000 Kenyans or more, and only 200 and something have only taken advantage of this. And the ultimatum being on Thursday, you can imagine is a worrying trend.
Then describe that coordination by the diaspora community and the emergency evacuation efforts by the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs. Was it seamless? Did you have to get yourself to where the consulate is? And what was the process thereafter before getting to a flight back to Kenya?
They basically alert Kenyans through even social media with fellow Kenyans. And you find fellow Kenyans will also relay the same to you. Then you take advantage of that. Then I went to the consulate to basically register. And I was told, you better register and take advantage of this. So they take your passport, whatever status, and they basically give you emergency because they have to act fast. And one thing I want to assure the consulate of Kenya, they have treated us honorably.
That's good to hear, because we at times criticize the government so much.
Yes, then you feel as a Kenyan, we are so proud. You may maybe even talk ill of the Kenyan government, but we who are outside, because of the treatment and the way we are received, you know, your value kind of decreases because of the environment there, to the point that you even look at yourself, not with a lot of honor. But when you went to Kenya, you just feel like a fresh air. You know, and you just get treated well, they receive you well, they talk to you nicely, you're even given some refreshment.
How long were you there?
I was there for 2 days.
Okay, before the flight,
Before the flight.
And no complaints?
No complaint. Then they also offer the shuttles to make sure that your luggages are there, you rush to the airport. And some of us, even our luggages, some luggages had to stay at Johannesburg or at Tambo. Then when you look at the system, you find one or two has not been released. I was even, this morning I went to the Kenya Airways in Jomo Kenyatta, just to, relay my complaint.
Yes.
And I had to basically follow the process.
Yeah.
And they have escalated it to Johannesburg to find out that my luggage that were retained is released. But when we were taken to the flight, another VIP treatment. VIP treatment. You feel like a sigh of relief. And you just say, God and the government of Kenya, asante sana, and the people of Kenya. When you get to hear Kenyans are talking in Swahili, you feel, wow, I'm at home. And you just say, thank God to be a Kenyan.
Yeah.
Okay. And where you even now develop that confidence that I'm going home. Home is always home. North, east, west, and south. But
East
as a Kenyan,
home is best.
I will never apologize being a Kenyan. And I love Kenya. I am loyal, and I'm a patriot.
Tell me this, were you targeted directly? Were you forced out of perhaps church gatherings? Was your home targeted in any one way or the other? Was it an indirect attack?
You see, I used to minister also to Zulus. They call me their bishop. Some were literally even crying when they even came to my house as I was, preparing with my staff. Some literally could not believe their eyes. And this Sunday, they were like asking, how do you break this news to the Zulus? And apparently those Zulus who were born again, they were telling me, Pastor, Zulus wants to shed blood. So if you have any way out, we are sorry. You just have to leave. So because of that, it's like God uses that and in your premonition is a message. And the Lord sometimes uses the circumstantial events to relay something. And you may find, because maybe you've got kids there, and you are loyal to them. So irrespective of what happens to you, you take that beat. But you realize the environment now, your life is in jeopardy.
Okay.
So I either run, then when I'm safe, then I can consider maybe my daughters come, but I'm in Kenya. But my life, because anything happened. Because some of us, we've even went through a situation where you are even poisoned. Then you find the whole church, Congolese, South Africans, the colored people, they come to pray for you. You are taken to the medical private to make sure our bishop does not just die. And God does miraculously. 5 days you're in the hospital and you recover. So
since you've interacted with the Zulus, before you cross over to Kefa, talk to me about from outside looking in. Because if I'm to be the devil's advocate, some might argue they have a point. At the end of the day, there are systemic challenges that have led to this spate of xenophobic attacks, whether it's lack of employment, whether it's government's failure to deliver credible services to the people, and that's why they're agitated. As we mentioned, it's not the first time this is happening. So from outside looking in, do you think they have a point in terms of agitating for more jobs for their own? But it seems they're doing it in the wrong
direction.
Yes.
Apparently, there is like a voice they've been trying to send it to the government. And they feel that the government has been dilly-dallying. So now what the citizenry decide, foreigners are like easy scapegoat. So they will paint a picture like maybe they say foreigners don't have proper papers. So they use that to lighten the fire. Then before you know it, foreigners are being attacked.
And is this nationals or politicians? Did politicians use that before, perhaps when campaigning, and then when they get to government, that's when they take a back seat and let things...
It is political because when you see the way it is orchestrated, it is like there are some forces behind that have sponsored this thing. Because now you question, the police is called in, the army is called in, and basically it's like they're escorting these people. Because the people say, we are the majority. We can even defy the police, whether they've got guns, and some of them, they've got also guns that are not legalized.
Yeah.
So they can use it on you. And yet the government will just be able to react what has happened, but the damage is there.
Yeah, they won't prevent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like death there. Unfortunately, South Africa is a place where you can just die without knowing what has hit you.
And not natural causes.
Not natural causes.
Okay.
Death could just come anytime, any moment. Maybe somebody is waiting you outside, and the guys have been paid. You're eliminated.
So there's proliferation of illegal firearms.
A lot of it.
Okay.
So the environment is quite volatile.
Okay, let's hear from Kefa. And there's a request to kofia and watu nyumbani at least waweze kujua kumbe amerudi ako safe and sound bana. Hizi attacks walikuwa na target tu watu wako na hawana documents ama kuna instances unajua ambazo maybe Kenyans or other Africans walikuwa targeted hata kama wako na hizo karatasi.
Yeah, walikuwa na target everybody. Kama uko na document, you can hear even wanashout kwa barabara, documented or undocumented must leave.
Wote.
Yeah.
Hey. Okay, na hizi xenophobic attacks, were they limited to just businesses, kazi, ama unajua saa zingine tunaona reports za this crucial services, healthcare. Unaenda hosi unaambiwa to offer services to hakuna kitu kama hiyo.
Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Mimi juzi nilikuwa hospitali naitwa Makiwan East London. Sikuitishwa document na ilikuwa like 2 months ago. Sikuitishwa document. Hawakuwa na haja kujua mimi ni wa huko ama ni wa wapi. Walinihudumia bila mambo mingi. Shida sasa ni ukirudi kwa biashara. Kwa biashara ndio wanasema biashara mmechukua zao. Wanasema mmechukua biashara zao. Na hiyo biashara umefungua huku ipata hata compete na mtu. Kwa sababu ingekuwa ni kazi yao tunachukua, ningeenda kucompete na South Africa hapo. Sasa yeye hafanyi kazi.
Yaani unataka kuniambia hakukuwa na wase wa tire South Africa?
Sijaipata. Labda mpya za Dunlop na nini. Yeah. Hawafanyagi kazi mzito wa South Africa kwa wanalipwa na serikali na wapea some grants za watoto. Nyumba inawajengea. Everything wako catered, hospitali, shule mtoto wanasomeshwa. So South Africa kufanya kazi anashindwa ni ya nini? Kwa sababu pesa atachukua mwisho wa mwezi.
So ule South Africa ulikuwa umemwandika, hakuna venye angesaidia, you've given him employment, umempepa ali apate riziki, hakuna venye anaweza sema
sauti yake inaweza kuwa dogo sana kwa hiyo kikundi. Then ni watu wako na secret sana. Hawezi kuambia wanakuja. So wewe ni usome ground, ujue leo kunakaa kubaya. Wewe ni usome tu dalili zako. Through yeye utamsoma, ujue wanafikiria nini. Cause hawezi kuambia.
So unaweza vamiwa ukiwa hapo na yeye na alikuwa anajua.
Join group wa kupige.
Okay. Hebu tuongee juu ya justice system. Tuseme an immigrant mwenye ana karatasi ameshikwa na hiyo group inaenda ikizunguka. Atapelekwa kwa polisi, atapelekwa kwa authorities ama it's a case of mob justice.
Okay, in case polisi wakushika au immigration wanakupeleka police station, unapelekwa kotini.
Si polisi wakushike au tu watu wanazunguka tumeona wakizunguka na rungu. Tuseme wajue wewe una karatasi. Wana deal na wewe aje?
I have seen some videos wakipiga watu. Wanakuthreaten na kukupiga. Juzi kuna foreigners 3 wameuawa, hawajakonfirmiwa ni wa taifa gani. Labda ilikuwa tu kwa ile harakati wamepatana nao. Na hawataki kujua mambo ya karatasi. Kwa hivyo hata kama uko na karatasi, ufesa wewe hata wenye wako huko ni maybe ni terms mzuri sana na jirani anakuchanua kwa sababu obvious kuna watu wazuri. Si ati wote wabaya.
Ukweli.
Kuna group ya watu wazuri. Na mwenye yako huko labda akona kabiashara nyingine nataka kuuza kama kuna rafiki yangu Mkenya aliniambia ajue vile atauza gari yake arudi.
Na government ya huko umeona wamereact aje? Because sasa tumesikia venye tumeongea na Bishop hapa, kuna army wako kwa streets, wanafaa kutuliza hao watu, polisi wako kwa streets pia. Wamereact aje? Unaona kama wamefanya enough to deal with this issue and nip it at the bud?
I think hao watu wako pamoja. Hao watu is like they are
so South Africans against others.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Wako pamoja. Yeah.
Okay, Bishop, it's a harrowing experience, it
Very,
seems,
very.
especially if you have family on
Yes,
that side. So
yes.
my heart goes out to you and other Kenyans who are in a similar position. Take us to the homecoming now, even before we talk about losses and accountability. When you're back home, how's the Kenyan spirit? Perhaps easing the burden? Is family coming through? Are they understanding of the situation? Do you plan on going back to South Africa once this issue settles? Or do you plan on bringing your daughters back to Kenya? How will life move on? Talk to us about that, yeah.
Well, I finally made a final decision that I won't go to South Africa, because 18 years, I've basically imparted a lot at the expense of my parents here, my brothers and sisters, and Kenya, for that matter. And now that I'm here, my family has also received me so well, with a lot of understanding, forbearance, patience. And they have accommodated me by virtue of the fact that we are related by blood. And I feel at home, I'm at ease, but I'm taking it slowly.
Step at a time.
So whatever I had established in South Africa, I even told South Africans themselves, if you have to visit, it is you. Me, I've basically washed my hand now for South Africa. Other nations of the world, we will be able to go there, but we see as the Lord will be able to lead us in the next chapter.
But how can you wash your hands when your family
No,
is
no, no,
there?
basically, you see, one thing that you also need to understand,
Yeah.
South African women have a lot of power, and the government has given them a lot of power. When it comes to children, the mothers have the final say. You cannot just wake up and decide, okay, this thing has happened, let me decide to live with my kids. You'll even be asked at the airport, even by Home Affairs, has the mother given you consent to leave? Failure to which you'll be delayed there to establish whether the mother has given you that.
So if the mother doesn't bring the kids to visit,
And you know, with our kids, they're growing, eh? Like when you find my daughter, 25, challenges me, Daddy, I'm a grown-up. I can decide what is good for me.
Yeah.
Even maybe you get a nice job because you're connected. They say, Daddy, no. For engineering, me, I want to do something different. It's not in that area. And it challenges you.
but the emotional attachment,
Yeah, but the
you can't
emotional,
equate a father's
emotion
love.
is there.
Yeah.
They say, we know you are our daddy,
Yeah.
but you've gone out of your way to make sure that at least we've got a good life.
Okay.
And we owe a lot of appreciation and love.
Makes sense.
But now when it comes to my life also, you may find maybe you've sacrificed and forgone a lot of things about yourself for the sake of the others. But now you realize maybe you're ignoring your better good. Then you say, hey, well, this situation, and the home is there, and Kenya has been, on the receiving end. You say, let me now consider home.
Okay.
They need me now. And there's a huge cry, and Kenya has reacted to it to make sure that our national... You feel a sense of pride that the government and the Kenyan people, because when you hear even Kenyans say, so long as you don't touch a Kenyan, we will not be able to tell it. That one makes you feel, we are cared for by our fellow Kenyans, irrespective. Because it's like when there's a problem or a situation that is beyond the reach of many and your life is threatened, then you find Kenyans, we come together, we converge for that particular issue. And we felt so proud.
Spirit of Ubuntu. Anyway, tell me, after that deadline, June 30th,
Yes.
have things eased off in any way? Because I'm pretty sure you're still in communication with those on the southern side of the continent.
Yes.
Have things eased out? Is the tension still high? Well, what's the state right now?
That tension is quite volatile and becoming pathetic.
So it's getting worse.
It's getting worse because they tell you now the next wave will be you are a foreigner, you've been found. You are going as a corpse. Then when you find your fellow Ethiopians also, you see a number of people being taken to Addis Ababa, because I've also been a minister to many Ethiopians there. And they tell you the ordeal, the Congolese and South Africans themselves, that you made an impact and they love you. They say, Pastor, as much as we love you, but we will really love that your life is intact. Because now what is coming, Zulus are now giving more threatenings, you know, echoing war. That now, the next, when you find you're a foreigner, a black foreigner, and you've not acted on the 30th, now it is going to be, you are dead, you are dead, you are dead. And when they say that, you find the President Ramaphosa even gave a national address, calling upon them that a citizen is not allowed to stop a foreigner and ask them for paper. But they still defy that and go to the extent of literally accosting you on the street. They say, we don't care about our President Ramaphosa. It is us, the citizen, that we want to clear. I'm a foreigner, you must be out. You're taking our jobs. You're eating our food. Everything, you're succeeding. I'm a foreigner. Bribery. You find even some of us that we don't love corruption. The system want to force you to give you some favors. Permanent resident. You must give kickbacks. Like me, they say, Muruti is a preacher. We want to give you a permanent resident. Are you Martin the Powers door? Yes. Your permanent resident is ready, but you must part with 7,000 rand. Then I say, when I came to South Africa, I came illegally, and I paid what was due to the government. But when it coming to forcing me or banning me to give bribery, I would rather go home because I'm a citizen of Kenya. And apparently when I left Kenya, there was no trouble. So you're not doing me any favor because I've got everything in terms of my nationality. I would always be like my defense, but I'm a Kenyan by birth and my status is okay.
Fair point. Kefa, umesema ulireport bees ilikuwa raided, hakuna kitu ilifanyika. So accountability hakuna. But sasa you're facing losses bana. Unaanzaje maisha?
Sasa. Huku kwanza maisha huku. Sasa huku labda serikali tu yenye ilifanya ikatutoa huko. At least tuangalie tena.
Na tuanzie kwa familia sasa. Familia wanasaidia kabla tufike kwa serikali.
Familia wametushika mzuri sana kabisa, na wanajua tumepitia mambo mingi. So wamekuwa part of us. Unaona mchungaji ameletwa na familia yake.
Kweli.
Wamemshikilia kwa sababu wanajua si kitu hizi. Si kitu hizi.
Na sasa unashikiliwa kimawazo,
kimawazo.
Sasa kifedha, unajua ni mwanamume sasa. How do you start? Gava ilikusaidiaje? Kwanza ulipata psychosocial support, ukitoka huko ulipata counseling hivi unaongeleshwa ukiulizwa akili?
Kwa sababu ilikuwa process ya kutoa watu bio na kulikuwa na watu wengi. So walikuwa wanataka kufanya as fast as possible, watu kwanza watoke, kwa sababu hata kwa embassy si ati ni safe sana. Wale raia wote wakakuja wavamie hapo, kusema ukweli watawatoa. Sasa serikali ilikuwa inaharakisha sana process ya kutoa watu kwanza kwa embassy wafike huku. From there sasa kifika huku catch up na nini ujue vyenye utaanzia maisha tena.
Na umejua? Umejua?
Nimefika jana asubuhi.
Jana tu asubuhi.
Jana asubuhi. Sasa nimekuwa na jana mchana yote leo. Sasa kesho tunaanza wiki. So takuwa nimepanga mambo hapa kule.
1-2-1-2.
Yeah.
Okay, all the best, Bana Kefa. So, Bishop, as we finalize, because you're pressed of time, well, what specific measures, if it's policy shifts, diplomatic red lines, that the Kenyan Ministry of Foreign Affairs or the broader African Union can actually move forward in ensuring that this doesn't happen again? So how do we ensure non-repetition? And I'm asking this knowing AU has a policy of non-interference in internal affairs of any member state. So there are limits to the powers that perhaps a Kenyan government can exercise when looking at the fate of their nationals in a country like South Africa. So having experienced this, well, what do you think can be done to ensure this doesn't happen again, that Kenyan nationals are not targeted?
It's quite unfortunate that however much they might mitigate measures, the populace, citizenry of South Africa have made up their mind. Irrespective of where there's United Nations or Kenya government, diplomatic, interventions, they will still go out of it and they will tell you, we are South African, to the point of being lawless. Because if somebody is literally taking the law in their hands, in the full view of the authorities, and the authorities are like looking at it and looking at the other side.
See no
so
evil,
it tells
hear
you
no evil. Yeah.
They are allowing all these things to happen in full view of all the legal apparatus that can be employed to mitigate maybe some changes or something.
Yeah.
They have made up their mind, and I'll just call upon Kenyans in South Africa. Take the olive leaf that our President Ruto and the people of Kenya and the government have extended to their fellow Kenyans in the diaspora, and in particular South Africa, to come out. Because it's like there's a ship, and the terrain is so rough and unpredictable. And if you keep on staying, and the signs are there, you may end up perishing without having a solution to salvage yourself. So the government is like, it has extended an olive leaf to take us out of what is going down.
Okay.
Because by the look of things, it's going to worsen, where most of the people will be locked in, and it might end up being so catastrophic.
Well,
because, I'm sorry, because when you find even our fellow Somalis, they go to the extent of literally now even threatening that they're going to defend themselves, not only with bombs and AK-47, because you cannot be protected by the police. It tells you it is serious.
And of course, we wouldn't pray for such an escalation of issues in South Africa, hoping for the very best, but failing to plan is planning to fail, you know. Kefa, ukimalizia utaambia wa Kenya wako South Africa aje, utaambia government ya Kenya nini? Now that umerudi, unajaribu kuendelea na maisha ama kuanza maisha, what support would you like from the Kenyan government?
Kitu ya kwanza ni kushukuru sana serikali, Ministry ya Diaspora, na KEDASA. There is an organization called KEDASA.
KEDASA full
Kenya Diaspora Association. Kwa sababu
but ALATSAS also.
Hao ndio wamefanya kazi sana ku make sure wameshikana na serikali, wamejaribu juu chini wa Kenya wote, wamefika mpaka kwa embassy, ndio sasa wakuje. Tunaweza washukuru sana, hongera, kwa sababu isipokuwa ni hao, I think tungekuwa tumestaki tu huko. Kitu kingine naweza omba serikali, kuna watu wengi sana tumeacha jela, wameshikwa na kesi ya kukua hawana karatasi, makaratasi zimeanguka, haziyuko sawa. Hao watu hawajakosea mtu. Serikali ikashikana tu na ile embassy na serikali ya South Africa. Hao wa Kenya watolewe jela, wapelekwe embassy. Serikali ya South Africa waambiwe tunataka kuwarudisha nyumbani. Inaweza kuwa imesaidia sana, kwa sababu haina haja mtu ateseke. Na alikuwa si kuiba, hajafanya makosa yoyote. Makosa yake ni kwenda kutafuta. Kitu kingine, wenye wamerudi, pia serikali inafaa tuangalie kidogo, kwa sababu Watu wengine hata akili zingine haziyuko sawa, kusema ukweli. Akili za wengine, umeacha mali yako, sikia mchungaji ameacha familia, hata anafaa ashikiliwe kimawazo, counseling nini. Kama ataanza kabiashara, imsupport na yeye ajisupport hapo, pengine inaweza kuwa mzuri sana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so any form of support.
Yeah.
Itafurahiwa. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe just a second.
Finally, yes.
Just to echo what Kiaria said. The reason why you find most people end up having illegal papers is like it is an orchestrated move by the side of the government not to give them permit to renew.
It's deliberate.
Ni deliberate.
Okay.
Sasa unakuwa left with no choice but to try to, you know, hide and seek.
Yeah.
And yet it is deliberately orchestrated to make sure that you are rendered illegal, so that they are justified to either arrest you or be attacked.
Yeah.
Now they will make sure that that thing, it is like a narrative, make it look like they are all illegal, which is deliberately orchestrated by the system, which is supposed to give people proper documentation. And unfortunately, when you go for proper documentation, it is bribery. And when you are given through bribery, it's like something is fake. Then you found yourself, when you travel, you discover it is not in the system. And yet the people, then you've parted with a lot of money, and you're left with a trauma. Unfortunately, that is the actual situation in South Africa.
Okay, from the horse's mouth, I couldn't put it in any better terms, speaking from experience, practical experience. And that's the tale of the returnees. Welcome back home again.
Thank you,
and
thank
all
you,
the best as you recover and try to establish yourselves back in Kenya.
Yeah.
And we definitely wish the best to those who are remaining back in South Africa, family members, businesses, and whatnot.
Yeah.
Hopefully this doesn't escalate. Asanteni sana for your time. We're joined by Kefa Ngigi, who was a businessman based in South Africa, and Bishop Martin Oduor from the World Laborers Church International in South Africa. Really appreciate your input, and that's how we wrap up tonight's edition of Checkpoint. Thank you so much for watching, and trust KTN to sustain coverage on the developments that are happening down south. I'm Jesse Rogers. Have yourself a wonderful evening and a great start to the week. Good night.